One great thing about having an Apple Watch is I can actually put the phone there and I can use this like a viewfinder. Sometimes it's glitchy, sometimes it doesn't work. Today it is working. It's in a good mood. Just came to do some boring work. Bank work and most boring work. I need to get some statements signed and stamped. In which ways, welcome back to the channel, guys. What's up, guys? Guys, say hello, Elana. Hope everyone's doing great. Let's start the vlog in a very positive note, no matter what. Where do we even start? How many of you guys came across the famous quotation, man proposes, God disposes? At a basic, we will have so many plans. Let's do this, let's plan our future like this, let's do savings, investments, family, but end of the day, God already has a plan for you. God or whatever you believe in, whether it's God, whether it's universe, whether it's your karma, whatever you believe in, that thing already has a plan for you. So how much ever we stress about it, of course we have to stress about it. That's how humans work. I'm not saying don't secure your future, don't do invest. You still have to do all that. But in the back of your head, I would recommend you to think this way. I'll do whatever it takes, but end of the day, if something bad happens or good happens, this is all not me. I've done the best. The higher power is the one which is in charge of your life and they will decide whatever works best for you. You think you are doing something really good for yourself, but no, they know much better. Whoever that higher power is. Ee Swamiji Lakkakunda, let me talk about what really happened about my case. Okay, let's start from 2019, COVID-19 time, where we were at our peaks, COVID logado, in terms of pushing content, brand deals, biking, riding across the country, left, right, center, that was kind of my peak time maybe. Everyone has this, whether it's an actor, whether it's a celebrity, whether it's a politician, whether it's you, no one's life is flat. No one's life keeps going up or down completely. It keeps going like stock market, upar niche. That is what makes you feel alive. I had my lows, I came to my peaks, I had my lows, again I was at my peak, so that keeps happening. I'm not worried about that. So 2019 I was at my peak, and so slowly we shifted here because a lot of things. Nice has good schools for my work and the general lifestyle that I have. These kinds of places suits me the best, and also the amenities I use. Anyway, that is for a different topic why I shifted here. But the thing is, we shifted here in 2021 ending. All happy, everything was going good. I even booked an apartment, if you remember. All that was going great. New place, new life, new challenges. Me and Pooja were trying to set up our own thing here. Previously, both of us had help at home. Our parents were there, her parents were there. But here it was like a team, just me and Pooja running the house. I was taking care of the complete finances because she was completely 276% involved with the kid. So for a successful family, I would say you have to, with your wife, or if you're a wife, with your husband, you have to work like a team so that your family is successful. It shouldn't be one-sided. One of the partners will get very irritated. It should be split between them. Anyway, we were doing that. See, I like to give all this context first to build the story instead of just telling you this is what happened. I got legal notice. It doesn't get all the essence out of the story because it's a simple summon or whatever legal notice I got and I had to attend something. Aisa hua, this is what I have to spend. No, you need to feel what all we went through. So everything was going good. 2021 ending, 2022 we entered. I think 2022 was also going great. That is the time I also got my BMW X4. One of my dreams achieved. I worked a lot for it, running through the country, did so many things. And of course, how can I will never forget my loyal audience. Whatever I do, the kind of support you people give me, this is not just YouTube following, right? This is something else that we have, the kind of connect we have. See, the brands that approach me, they know that connect, and is the reason they pay me higher than people who have millions of subscribers. I'm not boasting about it, but there's a credibility thing, there's a trust factor. I achieved a lot of things. I did right investments, placed the money in right places, and I started investing early, like almost 12 to 13 years ago. All this hard work and investments, while being very serious about finances, while having fun in life, we came to a certain point till 2022. Now 2023, I wouldn't call it the worst year. I would say this is the year of the universe, or again once again like Swamiji I'll talk, but the universe or whatever started teaching Sriman, bro, this is not all life what you had till now. There are downs as well. Today I'm going to prepare you for the worst. You never heard any bad news in your life till now. Maybe chota bad news maybe I heard, but this is going to be a legit proper strong bad news that I am going to give you this year to make you stronger in future. I'm preparing you for the future. And that time when this came, I was not like that. I was like, that year was the lowest period of my life because I've never experienced something like this. Tax authorities and all that coming after me for whatever reasons. So I'll tell you what happened. Sorry, I'm making it a little bit long, but It is important because this is me speaking out my heart. We have made all the right moves, investments. Now it's time to lock in some deals and get my own house, my own car, and all these dreams achieved. I mean, as humans, that is what we wanted to do, right? Single-handedly, I did that in terms of finances. Of course, the emotional support, the mental support, everything was there from the family, from Pooja, from my dad, from my mom. All that was very important. Those are the main pillars he had to keep. Then in 2023 is when mic drop. I think we were in Kashmir. We just finished the Kashmir trip. We went to Gulmarg and then we came back home within a week. I think I don't remember the exact date, but around Feb ending or March maybe. First, my dad got this letter. Because that's my permanent address. I was here. He called me one day and said someone came. Someone and SUMMON. Someone is basically, as per Google Dictionary, it says order someone to be present. So I got a summon from the tax authority directly from Delhi, the headquarters of this tax department. I'll tell you openly, this is the GST department, asking me to present myself before the officer, tell him why I did not register for GST for the last couple of years. I don't know why I didn't do that. I was a very obedient fellow, sincere citizen of India. I consider myself patriotic. I consider myself being a good influencer, influencing all the right stuff, always talking about investments, helping people to invest their money, not waste it. See, I keep buying things and all for my content. It's not that I want you people to do that. But if you see all my videos in the past, it's always about me buying things and showcasing that so that you people feel that you people are living that life. But then I also tell you guys to don't waste money on such things, but in fact you invest your money, grow it, and out of the profits little bit you take those profits and enjoy that profit a little bit. I also talk about 50-30-20 rule. Why do I do all that? To be the good force when there is a lot of negative forces all around the world. I wanted to be that 0.0001% of that positive force, helping people out there. Some change I want to get. But then people like us get these things. So basically I tell you what is GST. This is where you have to take notes, okay? Basically there are two things in tax. One branch is the direct taxes, which is income tax. Second one is the GST, the indirect tax. Basically income tax, you know how it works, right? You earn some income, you have to pay tax on it. That's how the country runs. It's a very good thing. But now, are those taxes being utilized properly? It's a very debatable topic. I don't want to get into that part now. GST is the indirect tax, which means you will not directly pay the tax from your income. But if you buy a phone, if you buy anything around you, it includes a small GST, which is called a small gather. It starts with 5%. 18% is something like a majority of products are covered inside 18%. In my case, let's consider 18% because mine is IGST. Now, what is IGST? Once again, GST is again divided into three things. Commerce class la undi kada, but it is important. Ivi nerskokane itla aina. So GST mein you have three things: CGST, which is central tax; SGST, which is state tax; IGST, which is something like you bought a product from a state manufacturer, or else you did some promotion for a product within your state. Then only SGST applies. But IGST applies when I am providing services to another state. So let's say, for example, Mamaearth. Mamaearth's headquarters are in Gurgaon. I am from Telangana, so it's between two different states, basically interstate. So when this kind of business happens, when I am doing promotions for them who is outside of Telangana, this attracts IGST. Basically, I think it's integrated GST, which is calculated at 18%. So how it works is, let's say, for example, 10,000 rupees for promotional services, I have to charge Mamaearth. I would send them an invoice rate of 10,000 rupees and would say, send me the money. They would ask me one question: Sriman, are you GST registered? Truly, I don't know how I skipped that. They only ask me once. Most of the brands, they ask you only once. It's not their duty. It is our duty to understand if we fall in the GST slab or not. So, when this GST applies, you have to take a GST registration. Note this point. You have to take a GST registration as an individual, or if you have a company, for your company, you have to take a GST registration if you cross or even touch a threshold of 20 lakhs per annum. This is the bare minimum. There are other categories which need 40 lakhs per annum in different states, but still, this is not a guideline. You please check it online. I have no clue about these things. I'm just telling you what I know. Can be wrong, so you have to double check all this. So if you cross that 20 lakhs threshold in a year, in a financial year, you have to get yourself registered for GST. Even without this threshold, even if your turnover is below 20 lakhs, let's say it's only 2 lakhs or 1 lakh, or you're not even making any money, still get yourself registered for GST, because it is good to have this filing from the beginning itself. So if you're planning to do some business, if you're an influencer, if you're doing anything in India, it's better you get a GST registered for yourself. So going back to the example of this product promotion, I charged 10,000 rupees to a product. You know what? They asked me, are you registered for GST? Because I didn't know GST that time. I said, no, I'm not registered. I don't need to get registered, because obviously that time my turnover was not that much. So I did not get registered. Oh, 20 lakhs per annum, manaki ippudu kavalanta scene ledannattu, I left it. So what happens now? date. I think we need a paper to explain all this, otherwise you people will get confused. So usually the flow is like this, okay? There is the brand, there is the agency, and then there is me, that is the influencer. Now brand has a product, agency is someone who connects these two people and they take their cut. Let's say I charge the brand 10,000 rupees. Not get into this part right now. Let's talk only about brand and the influencer. Forget this for now. So 10,000 is what I charge the brand, and usually there should be 18% of IGST. They ask me whether I am registered for GST. I don't have a GST number that time in 2017. So I say, no, I am not registered for GST. So you know what? They will pay me directly this 10,000 rupees minus TDS, which will usually be 1% to around 10%. But this is claimable later. You can claim this in your income tax. So basically I got entire 10,000 because I'm non-registered. Now this 18%, which is 1800 rupees in this case, this has to be given to the government. So what the brand does is, it says Sriman is non-registered, so I will directly make this, because we took services and there was some business activity between me and Sriman, I will pay the GST directly to the government. They have to file this because they are GST registered for sure. As a brand, you can assume that they make more than 20 lakhs per annum. It might be in crores. So they have to be GST registered. That 18% the brand will directly file it in the GST portal to the government. There's no loss of tax for the government, I'm assuming, if the brand has paid that GST to the government. Now let's assume I am GST registered. Okay, I have a GST registration number, and the brand, once again, brand me. Once again the brand came up with a deal. This time I am GST registered. The brand will ask me, Sriman, are you GST registered? I'll say yes, which means when I'm charging 10,000 rupees to the brand, I will raise an invoice, this time not for 10,000 rupees, but I will include the 1800, which is the 18% GST, and I will give them a bill of 11,800 rupees. This is what they have to pay me. Of course, the TDS will be cut in this. I know it's getting complicated, but just simply understand that this 1800 has to be given to me because I'm GST registered. Previously, I was not GST registered, so they would make the payment to the government directly in the GST portal. But now because I'm registered, they will have to, this is a rule, they have to pass the GST amount to me, and I will be making the payment in my GST portal. This is how it works. Don't take this as a full class. There are better YouTube videos how this works, so go there and learn. Once again, I'll try to explain in an easier way. So now because I'm GST registered, I have to raise an invoice of 18%. Whatever I'm raising, if it's 1 lakh, it should be 1,18,000 is what I send an invoice to the brand. If it is 10,000, anything, 18% I need to add on the invoice, and when they make the payment, they have to send it to me along with the GST amount. And this GST amount, I'm not going to hold it. I'm going to pass it on to the government. This is how the government gets its tax. Now you might be thinking, isn't this like a big loss to the brand because they have to shell out 18% extra? Let's say if it is like 1 crore, literally 18 lakhs they have to shell out from their pocket. It is not directly a loss because there is something called input tax credit, ITC. ఇట్లాంటివన్నీ నేర్చుకున్నా after I got this summon. I had to learn all that. I keep telling you, right, some things happen in your life so that you learn a lot. I kept reading a lot of GST books, laws of GST. I got so better that in some things in 2024 I could even explain it to the officers that this is not correct, this is right. And they had to recheck and they said, yes, Sriman, you are correct. So out of experience, I was not a CA, but I learned a lot about all this GST laws. Before the legal notice, I had zero clue about taxation. So this input tax credit can be used by the brand. Now let's not get into ITC, input tax credit, how it works, because you will get fully confused now. But it is kind of beneficial to the brand. That 18% is not going in waste for the brand most of the time. Now coming back to my story, what happened is, because from 2017 paper rhythm, now from 2017 till 2023, okay, till this time I did not register myself for GST. Why? Honestly, because I didn't know that I have to get registered for GST, because when I was doing income tax and all that, I thought that is the only tax I have to pay. I never understood that we have to take GST registration. I was thinking I'm a YouTuber. See, these are pretty new laws, okay? GST law is pretty new. It started in 2017 if I'm not wrong, and everyone is even till date confused about how these things work. A lot of people get such summons. Even big companies like ICICI, 1,000 crores of companies, they also get GST notices even today, because there's a lot of confusion. 2023, I think in March is when I got that beautiful legal notice. But even before this, March 2023, somehow, I don't know why, 2022 ending May, I think around December 5th. No, sorry. 2023 Jan 5th itself, someone told me to get I'll tell you who told me. Actually, the agency that works between me and the brand, they told me, Sriman, we are not going to make your payments till you get your GST registration. I'll tell you why this happened. Because they got a notice from the GST department asking them to give a list of influencers, whoever is working under that agency, who have crossed a certain threshold of 20 lakhs. Now, I did not cross the threshold of 20 lakhs under that particular agency, but on the whole, my business, my investments, whatever, my income that I would get, on the whole, it crossed 20 lakhs threshold in a certain year. Starting from 2017 onwards till 2023, it crossed this particular threshold per year. And I would never notice that because I was busy making content. I was going with the flow. I never took accounts so seriously. I never took taxation so seriously, except the income tax. When my tax consultant told me income tax date is coming, you have to pay this much, I would just go and pay. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So actually 17 I did not cross 20 lakhs. It was much below that, so this was removed. When I went to the officer, this is what he was calculating. He said, Sriman, remove 17. You did not cross the threshold. 18 say you crossed the threshold. It was like bare minimum. I think I did like 20.5 lakhs or something in that year. And then 2019, it went up. 20, it went up. 21 was my peak, so I went up. And then till 22, it was going on. And all these 5 years, I did not have GST registration. It's not just from YouTube. I'm talking about all the income that I make through other sources. Whatever it is in your bank statement, if you're making 20 lakhs is zyada threshold, you should have a GST registration, which I didn't have for all these 5 years. Even if it's like 20 lakhs per annum is a threshold, right? Into 5 years. This is almost 1 crore. Okay. Iske upar 18% is what? 18 lakhs. 18 lakhs is for 1 crore. యాక్చువల్లీ 5 years లో కింద మీద పడి చెమట పడిచి చాలా వెనకకి యాక్సిడెంట్స్ అయ్యి కొండలు ఎక్కి బైక్స్ నడిపి థౌజండ్స్ ఆఫ్ కిలోమీటర్స్, లాక్స్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ కిలోమీటర్స్ ఇన్ ఇండియా, అవుట్ సైడ్ ద కంట్రీ, టేకింగ్ సో మెనీ రిస్క్స్, 1 rupee దాసి పెట్టుకొని, టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్స్, డూయింగ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఓన్లీ పాజిటివ్. అండ్ ఐ నెవర్ టేకెన్ ఎ బెట్టింగ్ యాప్. అవి తీసుకొని ఉంటే ఇఫ్ ఐ వుడ్ డూ దాట్, ఐ వుడ్ బి సమ్వేర్ ఎల్స్ ఇన్ టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ ఫైనాన్సెస్. వీఆర్ సమ్వన్ హూ విల్ నాట్ ప్రమోట్ స్టంట్ రైడింగ్. వీఆర్ నాట్ సమ్వన్ హూ ప్రమోట్ ఇల్లీగల్ థింగ్స్. నో బెట్టింగ్. ఆర్ ఫర్గెట్ దట్. Even if a product is causing some harm and if it has a negative vibe in the country, we are not someone who will promote such things. And then things like these come up to us and it's really disappointing, right? When you know that you're doing everything in such a positive way, the only genuine intention you have inside you, in your heart, is to do only positive things, but you are being punished. This is not punishment. I wouldn't call this punishment from the government side, because as per law, you have to take the GST when you reach a certain threshold. But isn't there a ground, something like humanity grounds, where this guy is legit, I'll go through his video? They have to do it because it's a lot of money. No, I'm not asking the officer to sit and see my videos and get a vibe of what Sriman is. It doesn't work like this. Law is blind. They go by numbers. That's it. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 mein Sriman did not get registered as per the section. He has to pay the tax, which is simple and plain as per the section. That's it, the section ante. Now if they start thinking, papam, so sad, he's a hardworking guy, he did not do this on purpose, that's very difficult. A lot of people, I mean, they can't judge it, right? There can be a guy who wantedly did not pay the tax and he can act with much more sympathy than me. They can put up a show that the government or the law body, they can't make a difference between the genuine guy and the wrong guy. And is the reason justice keeps delaying in the country so much, because the law system says we'll let go hundreds of criminals, but we don't want to punish one good guy. I don't know how much of that is being followed like properly, but that is the intention for sure for a lot of lawmakers. I know there is a lot of crap going in the country in terms of politics and all that. That doesn't discount that there are good people as well. There are good lawmakers, there are good politicians who have a genuine intention. Any which ways, coming back to the story, nanu పిలిచారు. They called me with this big summon notice. మొత్తం ఒక బుక్లెట్ తయారు చేసిర్రు నా పైన. And their first summon, actually everything is there in this from the first. Yeah, this is the first one. 26 AS, TDS, my bank statements, everything they have. I mean, I also submitted everything to them openly because we are not doing any fraud here. I did all that, but the officer was nice. He made me sit. He said, Sriman, first tell me, why didn't you take the registration? I told him openly, I don't want to fake around. I'm a genuine guy. I'll tell you what happened honestly. I don't know, lack of knowledge. But that doesn't stand in court. He said, Sriman, I understand. You look like a genuine guy. The moment I called you, the date and all, usually people postpone it to 2-3 months. I called you within 10 days and 10th day you're here, so I understand you're a legit guy. You're not someone who has to fake around. I can see you, you're a good guy. But that doesn't discount the fact that you skipped taking the GST registration not once or twice. I would maybe consider that, but you skipped it. It's like basically you're skipping a signal. Red signal birthday. You skipped once. Once maybe. Chalo, let's leave him. Mistake is a mistake. As per law, you shouldn't skip a signal. You skipped it. Chalo, humanitarian grounds. Let's excuse that. Second time I saw you doing that. Third time you did that. Fourth time. 5 times it doesn't sound like a mistake. It sounds like a intentional mistake. But the thing is, how will I explain? It was not intentional. I know 5 times I skipped the signal, but you should also consider that, yeah, it can happen 10 times also. Intentionally to nahi hua na. It didn't happen intentionally. So this is the only disappointment I have with what all happened to me. Rest all laws, sections, everything, what they are doing is right. I consider that, but when you know the kind of person, if you can do more investigation about is he true, is he, that maybe takes a lot of your time, but it took me as a person, see it from my shoes, how much I worked for all of this, and one day you come and slap me with a big number like this, 18% of 1 crore gado. I'm talking about, okay, I'll tell you how much I had to pay. Consider this. First, when I got this summon, I was asked, they sat there, then and there itself they calculated everything. Here it is there, the numbers, but total I had to pay 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a 7 digit number, not 6 digit, which is, I kept that money for so many things. I bought my car, I bought an apartment. I'm not saying this amount would give me all those things, but it was like kind of a support in my bank account, in my investments, right? It was giving me that backing. I'm there. The 7 digit number is here. To be precise, first, there are 2, okay? I'll tell you 2 things in this. One is this first one. Iske upar interest will be there and penalty will be there. So the first base liability, let's call it the liability. The major liability was that 7 digit number. I was blown away in the office, like, 7 digit number which I kept for so many things now. I have a family. It's not like I'll be on roads, but how do I tell you? Okay, 1 lakh bothene Miku. Let's say your account is debited with 1 lakh, or you're slapped with a fine of 5 lakhs. How do you feel? Like, think about it. Once in your account, a government official comes and tells you have to pay 5 lakhs tomorrow, or let's say in the 10 days. How do you feel? Only when you go through it, you'll understand. And mine is not 6 digit. It's not 5 lakhs. It's much above that. So liability, I will tell you, it would get me a GSA, a BMW GSA, outright purchase, no loan, nothing. I can just go, instead of paying this liability, I could get a GSA. Number 2 is the interest. Now, the interest keeps accumulating from 2018 onwards. From the time I had to actually take the GST, from that time till 2023. Luckily, I told you, right, 2022 ending May itself, I applied for GST. But previous years and all, I did not think about it much. Did not think it's so serious. Exactly Jan 5th is when I got my GST registration. Mid-March something, I got this summon. So before the authorities told me that I have to get a GST, I got it myself. Voluntarily, I went and got it. After that, the summon came. One thing I'll tell you, if you're not a GST registered in the last couple of years and you did not file for GST all these years, and if you crossed that 20 lakhs threshold in a year, you will get caught someday. There are systems in place now. It's not like an officer will sit and search for your accounts. Everything is automated, everything is PAN related, TDS related, 26AS, everything is there. It will scan and tell them this is the guy who is escaping. In case you're doing it on purpose, you will get caught someday. But for all the ones who don't know, if you're starting your business or if you're already into business, and if in case, see, there might be people, 1 or 2 like me, who don't know the laws, how it works. We are creative people. We don't worry about all these things. That's the least worry on our mind. But what I'm trying to say is, you have to get into taxation. You have to understand tax planning. You have to understand how all these things work before even starting a business. So now the officer told me, Sriman, this is how much you have to pay. I can't do anything beyond this, which is a 7th figure, which is a BMW GSA, which I have to pay. And I said, give me some time. He said, how much time do you want? I said, I have no clue. 7 digit ra. He said, how about 10 days can you pay? I could draw all my savings, all the investments that I've done. First I have to pull in myself together. What happened? I had to do all that, and then once I put all my soul and body together once again after that blow, give me some time. He said 10 to 12 days I can give you. You have to pay before that. You have to pay within those days, then everything will be good and we'll clear it up. He 7 figure కట్టేసి ఒక BMW GSF gift లాగా ఇచ్చేయాలి government కి, and then I have to, apart from paying all the GSTs that I pay, buying all these things around me, and apart from giving loads of income tax that I pay, మళ్ళీ ఇదేం కొత్త లొల్లిరా అనుకున్నా. So I went back home. I started reading about all this, what's happening day and night is, I told you about the anxiety issues I had and all that, right? Definitely those are some of the things that They were there in the back of my head all the time, churning my head left, right, center. Why is this happening to me? Why do I have to pay a 7-figure for nothing that I was being so clean all the time, is what I thought. And then all this, I get slapped with such things in life. So there's no point in being very straight like this. Client, I mean, what will happen? You tell me. After almost 1 year of research and fighting here and there and officers and talking to so many law people, all the contacts that I had, second opinion, third opinion, fourth opinion from the central government, we tried everything. And what we understood is this can't be escaped because most of these things are automated. But whatever it is, it took me 2 years of time to get myself together, learn about this. And 7-figure కట్టమంటే కట్టేలేం కదా పోయి. I need to actually understand what happened. Are these calculations correct? Let me put it on an Excel sheet, starting from the first invoice I've ever generated in my life. From there onwards, from my investments onwards, full calculations. తారే జమీన్ పర్ లెక్క మొత్తం క్యాల్కులేషన్ తిరుగుతున్నాయి హెడ్ చుట్టూ డే అండ్ నైట్ for 1 year. But you guys wanted rides from Sriman Kotaru. You wanted bikes from Sriman Kotaru. Sriman Kotaru's content is getting boring. వెనకాల struggle అందరికి తెలియదు. I mean, I don't want to showcase that. I don't want to cry about it now, but I wanted to make this video so that now I'm like, fine, lelo whatever you want, take all my money, whatever you think is right, lelo. I am not a loser. I'll earn it back again. When I had nothing in my pocket, 200 rupees to వచ్చినోడిని, of course with the support of the family, ఇప్పుడు heroism చూపియద్దు, because of them I'm here. But when I could do that once, I will do it again. If I can't do it also, no problem. This is how the universe designed everything around me. Let's go through it, is what I've come in terms with myself and my life. But 2 years it took me, from 23 to 2025 January. I couldn't believe what happened, and I had to learn so many things and fight so many things, drag all the money from here, there, accumulate all that money, and finally, without taking any help from anyone, one coin would తీసుకోలే ఎవరి దగ్గర, I jamified all the money. 2025 में actually 2023 June July तक I learned a lot, and from then onwards I started paying little by little. They told me you can pay थोड़ा pay कर दो. So I was paying like 1 lakh once, 2 lakhs, whenever I had some bulk amount, 60,000, 50,000 అనుకుంటూ I paid for a couple of months. అట్లా almost up to 8-10 lakhs కట్టిన. After that they said this is not how it's going to be. You have to pay everything at once. So there's a balance, a huge chunk of balance left that I had to pay. At the same time, school fees, ఇంట్లో ఖర్చులు, ఆ ఖర్చులు, మన ట్రిప్పులు, ట్రావెల్స్ అయితే కదా. Like, it's not that just because I have to pay something I'll stop living my life, right? This has to keep going on. So till recently, Jan 2025, 2 years, I paid little by little, and finally when they gave me second notice, this is the show cause notice. This is the show cause notice. It's from the Directorate General of whole booklet they prepared against me, saying you have to show cause. Why are you not paying? You paid only little till now. Why not closing it? I said, chalo, abhi nothing doing. Let's close this chapter from our life and start a new life. Start working towards it. I had to go attend the officer here. They were good people once again. See, all these officers are good. They are doing their job. We can't hold anyone wrong here. This is a system in place. I have to go through it. They also understand how I am, because after talking so many things with them, they understood Sriman is legit guy. He's not someone who is fooling around. Whatever it is, they have to pass the law. They have to pass the section, and I was put under a section, CGST Act, the Act leshi mottaniki. Now for the drum roll. The liability part is one GSA, I told you, right? GST kazu. Don't get confused. GSA, I'm talking about the bike. One BMW 1250 GSA is what I have to pay as liability. Apart from this, interest, why didn't you pay for the last 5 years? 5 years low accumulate an interest of 18% per annum on the total liability. Ante oka GSA cheppanu kada, the cost of it into 18% for all those years. అర్థమవుతుందా ఎంత కట్టినాను? శ్రీమాన్ బ్రో దగ్గర బైక్ లేదు. హీ సోల్డ్ హిస్ బైక్. హీస్ నాట్ ట్రావెలింగ్. ఎందుకంటే ఇట్స్ నాట్ అబౌట్ మనీ హియర్. After doing all this, still I could buy a bike. I can do that because I plan my finances well. I'm not the stunt rider showing off, rash riding 300 kmph. I'm not that guy. Somehow I designed my life in such a way that we are peaceful, happy. Now that is not the reason I sold the bike for. I'm not using it in general. I mean, after selling the bike, that didn't help me in any way. Though I invested all that money back into mutual funds or whatever, beach mein niche bhi gaya. But now the interest part was almost as much as one more GSA. Meeku ardhamaitadi? You're thinking ఇంట్రెస్ట్ పార్ట్ అంటే ఇంకో 2 lakhs 3 lakhs ఉంటుంది అనుకుంటున్నారు కదా. నో, వన్స్ అగైన్ 7-figure. యాజ్ ఆఫ్ డేట్ ఐ పేడ్ almost 90% of 2 BMW GSAs as of date. I paid. It's gone. ఇప్పుడు చెప్పండి, ఏదో 1 or 2 lakhsకి ఏడుస్తుండేది అనుకుంటున్నారు కదా. కాదు. It is a lot of money. It is the kind of money where a couple of families, maybe at least one family, could lead a very happy life, which is not even my ఆన్ పర్పస్ మిస్టేక్. సో ఈ హ్యాపీ ఈ ఫేస్ చూసే ముందు వెనకాల చాలా సినిమాలు ఉన్నాయని గుర్తు తెచ్చుకోండి. మధ్యలో వై డిడ్ వి స్టాప్ బైక్ రైడ్స్, వై డిడ్ వి స్టాప్ డూయింగ్ ఫ్యాన్సీ థింగ్స్. ఇట్స్ నాట్ ఫర్ ద మనీ హియర్, ఇట్స్ జనరలీ దట్ ఎమోషనల్ trauma also, lot of things you expected in your life. Again, not monetary terms, I'm talking about in general, like you're a good person, you wanted to be a good person, you want to influence only the right stuff. People are doing betting apps, gambling apps, itlantul baita padturu. That too, there is enough proof. If I go to a court and fight all this, maybe you'll win, maybe you'll not, I'm not sure about that, but it is taking away a lot of good energy from my life. See, it is a transfer of money. I want to do that and move. I wanted to concentrate on my family, I wanted to concentrate on my new things in life. So 2 years, 2023 say, whenever this happened, I think I didn't notice it, but now I'm noticing it. 23 say like it till now, at least till the payment was made completely. Inka undi, inka full avale, but there's a final hearing where I actually have to pay some more money. Let's see how it works, but for that I wanted to fight. Maybe that's a penalty part, let's see how it goes. But yeah, this is the scene that happened. So I started taking all this as a lesson instead of crying. I cried about it a lot. Cried అంటే ఇట్లా ఏడవడం కాదు కానీ, you understand, right? I felt very bad why these things happened to me, and then I came to terms with it. I understood that sometimes life teaches you in a very rude way. At least we are alive. A lot of people, there will be bigger damages. He has to live with that for the rest of his life. At least we are given all the good health and still the brain to work. So lesson learned in a hard way. At least I hope I'm guiding at least 50,000 people who are getting into business or who will get into business to take care of all these things. But one thing you have to remember, that if something like this happens in your life that takes you so low for some time, I just wanted to believe, and I do believe, that universe is teaching you all these things. They put you into all this trouble so that there are better things planned for you. You have to think positive like that. Thank you for all your support, guys. Let's keep going. This shouldn't stop us. You know, one thing I wanted to talk about is, I always thought, what if I would be much more happier if the GST department told me, Sriman, you need not pay this to us directly. How about you use these funds that you have to pay as tax, इसको double करके next 10 years में 4 GSS का worth you have to pay towards the betterment of the society. Do some good things with that money and maybe raise a bill and show the proofs that yes, you spent that many lakhs, maybe providing infrastructure to the poor, maybe I have to build a small hospital or something. We could do that with that much of money. But now I paid as tax. I don't know where is it. Of course, I'm hoping it is being used for a good cause, but I would be happier if something like this comes up. You know, some law happens like this where they say you can directly pay the GST or whatever taxes you didn't pay before to the government directly, or directly do something and show us the proofs that, I know there will be a lot of fraud happening there, but there should be some systems in place that could actually check with a certified government officer who will come along with you when you're doing such activities, when you're building a hospital or something. Because mine is maybe still a small amount compared to the big companies that, you know, they have GST cases. There are companies like Infosys recently, they had like 3,000 crores GST issue. So instead of paying that 3,000 crores to the government directly, even dreams hai gani, what if they could give that 3,000 crores directly and build hospitals, build good shelters to poor people, good infrastructure, good water resources. I would be much happier doing that. I wouldn't actually feel that bad. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. No, I hope you guys have learned something from this vlog, and I'll see you guys in the next vlog.